Today we're going to work with gradient layers. I have my background layer, right click, duplicate layer, rename it gradient. I'm going to click on my new gradient layer and add an adjustment. At the bottom, I can click Add an Adjustment Layer, and I'm going to choose Gradient Map. Okay. So now under Properties, I have Gradient Map selected, and here is where we can do lots of our options. Now double-click to get the Gradient Editor. This is our gradient map. If I want to change a color, I can double-click on the paint can and choose a color and click OK. This one over here is white. Double-click on the paint can and choose a different color. This bar here allows us to kind of slide that back and forth. If I want to add another color, I can click where I want, double-click, and that will add a new place. For that. Okay, I can also give it a name and save the gradient. Okay. Next, we can use some of the presets that appear. Maybe I want to go to iridescent. Okay, so I can click any of these gradients once. Okay, and it will automatically appear down there. Okay. And even if I have one of these, I can still go back in, click and add another color. And again here, when I click the color, I can go over here and use my color picker for this. Now, if you remember at the beginning, we did a fit on screen. For some of this, I may want to zoom out a little bit, so that way when I have my gradient editor open, it's a little bit easier for me to see the entire picture. Okay, let me go ahead and add another color or two here, and I will show you how you can also delete a gradient stop. Okay, so if there's a color I want to delete, all I have to do is click on the can, drag down, and then it will automatically delete it. So again, background layer, right click, duplicate layer, rename it gradient. Click on the new gradient layer. You can also get to there by clicking the Adjustments tab and then selecting the Gradient Map to add the Gradient Map Adjustment layer. I can double click inside. Next, I want to show you how you can work with the settings. So if we click the little sprocket here, we could do text only. Okay, so if I'm looking for some of the colors here, that doesn't help me. I can do a small thumbnail. I can do a large thumbnail. And as you can see, that has it where it's like in a grid setting. Okay. Or if I change it to a list setting, that's going to make me have to go through long ways. So I personally prefer either the small or the medium thumbnail. So again, you can double click, just click it once and it will automatically apply. You can also adjust the opacity settings on here as well. So I'm going to click right here to add a new stop. In this case, I want to use a foreground color that is white. And now you can see Tower Bridge in London, not London Bridge. You can see Tower Bridge. So again, if I have something that I love, peach white coral. Okay, and I can also decide if I wanted it to be solid or noise. Okay, and save it. Now I did notice when I saved my other gradient right here, I was actually in the oranges folder. So when I saved it, it saved it in the orange folder. Okay, but if I wanted to, I could just click and drag down and drop it here. Advanced students later could actually import and export some preset gradient maps if they would desire to. So here's my white foreground color. As you can see, I can drag across. Okay, and you can see how that changes from the foreground over to the background. I'm going to name this one red, black. Again, I'm going to be over here in my neutrals one. Click new and OK. So now when I'm back at the properties, I can actually click reverse. Okay, and it will automatically reverse your gradient map. Okay, in the properties panel, I can click right here and see the difference of the different gradients. Finally, we can go up to our window and click gradients. Okay, and that's a quick way to bring up our gradient map. So these are some of our different gradients that I've used over the last couple of times, and you can just kind of see the different options. And again, you can click here to add a new folder, to add a gradient as well. Okay, so again, this is just your gradient colors. Okay, and then to actually apply the gradients, again, we can click right here at the panel and we can add a new group, delete a group, change how they are.